Here we go. Elastic band is off. Let's have a look. Oh, are cheap guitars really just for beginners, or can they still captivate a seasoned pro like me? I'm Jamie, guitarist, gearhead, and all-round tone fanatic, and today I'm putting that question to the test. There's a mystery $150 guitar in this box, and I'll be unboxing it without seeing anything. No brand names or no fancy labels in sight with this one. So let's see, can a bargain guitar really hold its own in experienced hands, or will it crumble under the scrutiny of a pro? Stick around because we're about to find out together. So all I know about this guitar is it's 120 British pounds, which is round about 150 US dollars at the time of filming, of course. I don't know anything else about this guitar. I don't know how it sounds. Don't really know even how it looks. And I've purposely not watched any videos or listened to any demos because I want my unboxing to be truly blind. Let's have a look. Box in a box. Let's get this out. Here we go. Ta-da! So usually with guitars at this price point, I struggle with them if they aren't set up properly or they have kind of quality issues. So we're going to check out this one, give it an honest review, and then at the end we're going to see how it sounds and plug it into the computer and see if it does pro tones like the ones I usually use. Oh, there we go. First thing, comes with a gig bag. Gig bag, Gear for Music gig bag. Look at that in a sec. In the box we also have strap for the gig bag. Part 2 of the strap for the gig bag. And then we have the trusty cable and Allen key combo with also a plectrum in there, a 0.71mm plectrum. Also, like the other guitars they usually sell, it comes with a beginner strap, but I probably would use something else. Here we go. Here is the gig bag. It's kind of thin and light, and I don't know how much protection it adds, so just be careful if you're throwing it around. Where are the zips? Are they at the top? Yeah. Jibbly zip. And I'm assuming there's nothing in the front here. No, but you can put things in there, tuners, strings, more plectrums. Let's have a look. Here we go. Ta-da! Elastic band is off. Let's have a look. Oh! There we go. It's a 6-string inline kind of Fender type thing, Super Strat style. So let's see how it's set up, if there's any quality control issues, if it needs a restring and an action adjustment and a truss rod and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff you usually do when you get a new guitar, especially if it's been sat in a warehouse for ages. Ta-da! Look at this! Whoa! That's a nice colour. That's kind of like a metallic, bronzy, orangey, pinky colour. I'm not quite sure. I think they might list this as like pink, but for me that's like a sparkly flex orangey bronze colour, as you can see here. But it's super cool. It actually reminds me of the Super Strat Kirk Hammett plays in the One video, which actually is in black and white, so you can't tell what colour it is, but he has one that has 3 single coils, and this has got a humbucker as well. So first impressions, 5-way switch, volume and tone knob, no pull-ups, no coil tapping or coil splitting. They are Wilkinson pickups, which I'm assuming maybe the hardware will be Wilkinson as well. That's a brand that makes a lot of hardware for guitars. It's a bolt-on construction. Bolt-on is actually my favourite. I just like the way it sounds, and all my favourite guitars have been bolt-ons, especially my Ibanez ones that I have. It's got the strings that go through the back because it will have springs, I assume, because it's got a hole here, which I'm assuming will be for an arm, like a whammy bar type thing. So I'm assuming in that bag down there that I threw on the floor, there is a bar in there somewhere that I need to find. But there is no locking nuts at the top here. So it's not a Floyd Rose type bar. It will just be a vibrato one that maybe goes a bit flat and a bit sharp, so you don't want to knock it out of tune too much. Normal tuning pegs, there are no locking tuners. So again, with the bar, you want to be a bit careful of not knocking it out of tune. The fret ends, so these silver bits here, actually feel really good. There's no sharp edges. The neck is a bit dry for my taste, but that's only because I have quite dry hands, so I probably would just when I was doing a restring, maybe just oil it a tiny little bit. It's quite light. All the Strats I've had kind of feel the same. And the input jack actually is not the same as a normal Fender one. It's actually just a standard input, whereas a Fender usually has it like on the pickguard somewhere. So yeah, it looks like a modern take of a super Stratty kind of, I don't know, 80s hair metal kind of guitar. So initially, first impressions, it feels great. It's got features that I like. It's got a humbucker in it. I really like single coil neck pickups, so that's great. It's got 22 frets. I'm usually a fan of 24 frets because I like the sound I get and I have more access down here. But 22 fret single coil tones are quite nice in clean and lead. It will have, if I find the bar, kind of a floating tremolo of sorts, so that'll be fun to play around with. And it's got a 5-way switch, which means I can switch between this one, that one on its own, those two together, that one, those two together, and then that one, because there's 5 different formations. And it's inline headstock, which I really like as well. The strings, they look like, I mean, I'm very funny about strings and they look like they might need a restring, but I'll probably play it first and just find out. They feel okay. They're not black and rusty, so they should be fine. So yeah, it doesn't look like the strings need restringing. It actually seems to be okay, but we'll find out when I play it in a sec. But I'd say for the build quality and the price point of £120, which is around about $150, it feels great. I'd say it definitely doesn't feel like it's that price. Again, when I was a beginner, you'd be hard pressed to find a guitar this cheap of this build quality. So it feels great, looks great. Now we need to find out if it sounds great. So let's plug it in and get some tone demos out of it. So plugged it in, let's hear some clean tones. I also found the bar, so now I can do all that kind of stuff. I'm inspired to play some Metallica, so I'm using my Polychrome DSP McRocklin Suite plugin preset that I made that sounds great for Metallica stuff. Let's hear how it sounds. Can this budget guitar sound pro? I quite like the middle positions, let's hear that one. That's nice too. I quite like this sound here. I like how, because it's closer to the neck, it sounds a bit more warm. This fourth one is these two together. Weirdly, that sounds thinner than the middle one. How does the neck one sound? Wow, that's a lot more bassy. There's a big difference between this bridge one and the neck one. Although it's closer to the neck, it's more of a kind of warm sound, but that's kind of a more fully flushed out sound because it's got 2 pickups to combine there in a single coil humbucker. As in that's 2 single coils combined, this is just 1. I quite like the middle one there. It's got that kind of twangy sound. I think that sounds great. I'm really impressed by that. Again, it's like £120. And I think it sounds really good. I'm surprised by this sounding that great. I feel like this is like a £600 to £1,000 guitar. Staying in tune really well also, which is something that you wouldn't expect in a beginner guitar. Usually, especially with a bar like this, using that bar would kind of knock it out of tune quite easily. And it seems to be doing a good job of staying in tune. So yeah, it does do cleans. I quite like that. But now, what we're all here for, let's see how it does dirty riff rhythm tones. That sounds great. Interesting, the pickup here sounds a bit thin, like a single coil. But it could be because I'm quite heavily used to active pickups and this is a passive pickup, so that could be why also. Knock it out of tune with my aggressive pinch harmonics. When you play riffs like this, I would say you rarely change the pickups, but some people like to. If you're playing like honky tonk rock and roll maybe. Or like modern, genty stuff people like, but I'm not into that kind of thing. That sounds quite nice actually, but we'll get to leads in a second. Feels quite nice. I quite like the neck, it's really easy to play kind of fast runs on. Like I said though at the beginning, it's quite dry, but that could be me because I've got quite dry hands, so I would oil that a little bit. When I restring it, I'll probably put fretboard oil and on the neck and stuff. Sounds great though. I think I like the pickup. I think it would work in like many different styles as well. You know, you got your kind of thrash metal. Then you got your kind of hard rock, punk rock stuff. Then you could do your kind of like power metal. I forgot to mention, this kind of looks like an Iron Maiden guitar. It plays Iron Maiden quite well actually. Just be careful with the bar, it can probably knock it out of tune quite easily. Yeah, I'm really surprised how these pickups sound. I think they sound quite good. Rhythm, absolutely smashed it. Now let's see how well it can handle some pro techniques with some lead playing. I'm going to look out for some problems that it might have. Might not do bending very well, it might not have a good access down the bottom for those high frets, and it might struggle to stay in tune if you're doing lots of bends and lots of kind of alternate pitch shred kind of stuff. Let's see how that neck pickup sounds when we do some lead tones. So one problem I noticed just then, the string came off the board, but that sometimes can just be the strings are old or the action might be too high or those kind of things, so I haven't probably set it up yet, that could be why. Also, the middle pickup is a bit high, so when I'm doing this, I'm kind of hitting into it, but you can lower that with the screws. And again, the bar stays in tune relatively well. So yeah, it's gone out of tune now. But it handled those things relatively well. A good setup would make it sound super duper good. And I think the tone of everything sounded incredible. I really like the way the neck pickup sounds. Single coil neck lead tones are great. But I would say for a guitar that's £120, $150, this guitar sounds great. So are cheap guitars really just for beginners? No! I was blown away by this guitar. Like, especially by the price point, because I was like, looking at that price point, there's no way it could be good. And I'm sure you would be thinking the same thing. But I really liked it. The price point is tailored to beginners because it's super affordable, but it's not limited by the sounds and the playing styles that you can get out of this guitar. I've played many guitars before that were way more expensive than this, that I didn't enjoy and didn't feel as pro as this one does. But the price definitely doesn't reflect the build quality. One thing that stood out to me was the colour. In person, this looks completely different to how I imagine it looks on the website. This is like a flaxy orange ambery kind of metallic colour, which I really, really like. I love sparkly guitars. On the website, from what I've looked at now, it looks kind of just like a pastel pink colour. So don't let that put you off as well, because this looks great. The quality control was great. There's no fret ends, there's no sharp ends around here. There's no kind of mega dents or scratches or weird screw holes. It was basically set up fine. I didn't have to do anything, didn't have to change the action, didn't have to change the truss rod, didn't even restring it. The strings were fine on there too. So yeah, to reiterate, definitely for all types of guitarists, I think pro guitarists would actually love this. It's an absolutely great place to start if you want a mod project as well, because it's so affordable, but I'm happy with how it is. This guitar is part of the LA Select Modern range by Gear for Music. There's actually 3 different models, and they're not 3 different colors, they're 3 different models. This one is a HSS humbucker single coil formation. There's a black one that looks a lot like the Jim Root Fender Strat, which is just 2 humbuckers, everything is black pickguard, all that kind of thing. And then there's one that actually does have a floating bridge, like a full-on Floyd Rose, which is like a burgundy maroon color, which has a humbucker and a single coil. So actually, it's not just this in 3 different colors, there are 3 different guitars. This one, I think, is the most expensive one of the 3, and I was blown away by it. But again, all 3 of them are incredibly affordable. I think they're around about the £100, $120 price point. So if you're a beginner or a pro user and you're looking for an absolute bargain guitar to put some mileage in and keep for ages, then look no further than the LA Select range by Gear for Music. There's a link in the description below.